Hi everybody and welcome back to Mountain Aquatics once again. So I'm in the fish room today and I've been thinking lately I'm getting a little bit bored of the fish room. Not of my fish, but I'm finding things a little bit too easy. So as you'll see, I've got everything ticking over quite nicely. I've got auto water changes going on with the drip system. I don't really need to clean the tanks other than the glass. I come in here once a day, feed the fish, clean the glass once a week, if that. And it's all getting a bit easy for me now. So obviously I've got the goldfish, my fancy goldfish. I've got my Japanese Medaka there, breeding program. I've got my white cloud mounted minnow that are just colony breeding in that tank that's full of oxygenating plants and melodia in there. Something just to hide the fry in there and the young. I do take some out and put them in a fry tank every now and again, just to make sure I get good numbers. So I felt like I needed a bit of a challenge. Something I've not done really in a very long time. Maybe 10-15 years ago I had a small marine reef tank and I thought now was the time to sort of try that again and challenge myself again, bring myself back in the fish room, and something to get me excited again, get me in here. So I've tried to do it on a budget. I've looked around and the best value for money I can find at the minute is the Fluval Sea. It's the Evo 13.5, I think it's mainly called in America because it's 13.5 gallons, or the 52 litre in the UK. These are retailing at the minute for around £150 for the complete kit. The cheapest one I found was with Swell. So Swell UK, check them out online. They've got it for £145. You can upgrade a little bit and you can get the skimmer included. We may go into that further down the line, but for now, my plan with this tank is a pair of clownfish, some light coral in there, maybe an anemone. I know they're a little bit more difficult than some of your soft corals, but I think this will be a good challenge. So let's get this unboxed, let's have a look what's inside and get it set up here on this rack. This is going to turn into a marine rack over time. Okay, so I've just done a quick sort of unboxing in the house. I've just taken this out of the box, put the lid on, put the light on, set the pump inside. Okay, we bought a few pieces from a local fish store. So I've got some coral sand, very important. Probably too much in there, but we'll see how far it goes. Sometimes I've bought sand and gravel in the past, you think you've got loads and it doesn't really go anywhere. 2 barrels of ready-mix salt water. I can set up an RO system. I've currently got HMA three-stage filter set up in my fish room. I can add an RO to it pretty easily, but for now, that was the quick answer for me. And these 2 pieces of rock, which have blown the budget a little bit. So these were, this piece on the right, £47, and the piece on the left, £32. They go together quite nice. It's the more expensive stuff. It's the Eco Reef stuff. It's already coloured. I could have gone for live rock at about £10 a kilo at the minute in my local store. I've spent the extra and hopefully it'll pay off and we can have a couple of corals on this and it'll still look nice. So that's everything we've got for now that we need to set up in the fish house. Right then, I want you to be honest with me and comment below who spotted the quite big flaw I've made in setting up this rack. So as you can see, I've not left myself much room. It's very tight, which I normally don't mind because you can make it work, but on this occasion, I've measured the size of the glass tank and I've not taken into account the stand and the lid. I've not left myself with very much room at all. There's only one thing to do, and that is to take these cross braces off, set them about 4 or 5 inches lower to give me some more room to work with on the tank. I could almost make it work as it is, but I think it's just going to get really difficult and maintaining the tank is just going to become a bit more of a chore. So I'll snap back in a minute when I've lowered these and we've got a bit more room to work with. Bear with me. Okay, so that's a bit better. I've got room that I can actually work on the tank. Bit of space here, I can take the lid off. My plan is that this tank above it is also going to be a marine. And I may add a pump that takes water up to the top. Have this as a sort of refugium area. But we'll see. We'll leave that for now and we'll concentrate on this tank. That's much better. I've got much more room to work with. Once this is painted black, I think it's going to look great. So we're just putting in the sand. Overall, I want a depth of around 1 inch, sloping towards the front as we normally do. Gives depth to the aquarium, and also you'd hope that any waste will move to the front and you can see it and sort it out and keep on top of it. I'm not worried too much about how it looks for now because the water's going to go in and disrupt it anyway. As long as it's fairly even and distributed across the bottom of the tank in all corners, then I'm happy with it for now. Okay, so finally we can add this rock, the very expensive rock. I have played around with it dry in the house, and I'm hoping I can recreate what I made there, but ultimately I wanted them to look like they were attached together, or one piece but with a gap in the middle, and I think that should do it. The light's shining so you might not be able to see it that well, but I think I'm happy with that. Let's get it filled up with salt water now. And this is interesting, I can't just pour it from the top, so this is why you should always keep these old bits of pipe in. That's why our fish room's usually a mess. And this old USB tiny little pump, I'm not even sure where I got it from. So I'm going to put that in the water, in the barrel, that end in the tank. And let's turn her on and hopefully it works. There we are, that saves me tipping the barrel. So no need to hold the heavy barrel, and that's probably how I will do water changes on this tank going forward, using that small USB powered pump. Now, while the tank fills up, normally in the comments I'll get questions about fish or ponds, and usually people are asking me for advice. This time I'm asking you guys for advice. It's been a long time since I've done a marine setup, especially with corals. If you guys can advise me on what corals are best to keep, anything I've done wrong that I can improve on, any little hints or tips that you can give me for, you may as well say it's my first time with marine because it's been that long, I'd really appreciate it. So get in the comments, guys, and let me know what you think of this tank and what I can do to make it better. Right then, so that's filled up. Let's get the lid on. The filter's already on. I notice a slight hum. I might have to adjust it. I was hoping for a more silent filter. Maybe it's touching the sides of the glass and that's what's making the hum. Let's get this light on, see how much this makes a difference. Okay, and it is touch at the top. It's a good bright light. Not sure or sold yet that it's going to be good enough for coral, but we're going to try that. So that is the Fluval Sea Evo 52 litre. We'll leave the video there. The next time you see us, unless anything drastic happens, hopefully we'll be adding some fish or some coral. Remember to give me some advice, guys, down in the comments below, and let me know how I can make this tank as good as it can be. For anybody wondering, I got about 45 litres in there after the coral sand and the rock. So 45 litre, not quite a 52 litre by the time you put your stuff in it. There we are. Right everyone, I'll see you in the next video.